Did I do that? Yeah, sis, you did. This is part 24 of how I discovered I was being cheated on by Carl Winslow. Okay, so the next day after, so it's Wednesday now, and he is on shift, and I am going to visit with a friend who, she's like my only like breast cancer survivor friend that I hang out with. And it just so happens that her husband purchased my the sister of my puppy. So we scheduled a play date. And she's been both an advocate for this relationship, but also about a few months ago she was just kind of over it. She's like, "You know what? You deserve so much more." And again, nobody ever talked bad about him. But this particular day, when I expressed to her not only what I discovered about the certainty and inclusion, I shared with her what I discovered in my journal from 2 years ago. So, 2 years ago, when I was in the middle of my treatment, I would, obviously still journal. And you guys, it was pretty wild because at the same time last year, 2 years ago, things came to, like, they came back around with like an eerie similarity. The first Saturday in November this year, I went to Abraham Hicks, and there was an artist there. Her name is Tony Jones, and she makes like affirmation music. Well, one of my good friends introduced me to her music the first Saturday in November 2 years ago, and I wrote about it in my journal. Also, in my journal, I have this moment where I'm talking about how people want my energy, they want to be in my space, but they don't want the whole thing, and they don't get to have the Britney experience unless they're certain about me and include me. And I write in there distinctly, like, I am going to wait for a man that is certain about me and includes me in his life. And when you see something like that, and it's like, how do you ignore that? As hard as that woman fought to be here on this planet, going through chemo, what a dishonor it is to her that I'm just sitting here like playing this game with somebody who literally says, I think about you. I think about breaking up with you every day. Like, what? Especially like the dates almost align exactly 2 years ago. So when I told her about that, it just gave her chills, She was just like, overwhelmed about not the coincidence, but, the coincidence. And, throughout the day, as I drove from place to place, usually I would talk to him, but he was being kind of distant. And I wanted to talk to him because he had purchased his tickets, supposedly, 24 hours before to go to San Diego. And I thought that it would be best for him to cancel them, but he was avoiding phone calls with me. So I didn't get a chance to say it. But later on in the day, he asked me, if I was feeling uncertain about him going on the trip. And I think that, like, I hate when people do that. Like, that's something. When people try to use your words at you. Oh, are you feeling uncertain? And I was like, yeah, I am. I'm feeling uncertain because although we know we're going to have hard conversations right now, you told me whatever. I am feeling uncertain because you're still not including me, And this is when he claps back like, I tried to include you last week, but you took that as disrespectful too. He's talking about when he pulled up to my house with his child and I asked him not to. So not only is he using the term certainty at me, but now he's trying to make it like, oh, I tried to include you and that was seen as disrespectful. Like, now the mind games are amping up and I'm just like, oh, like, this is where we at. Like, you're definitely in a different space. Because he never behaved this way directly toward me. Like, anything that he did, it just didn't seem intentionally mean. But these days, it did. But at the same time, he is love bombing. It's the only term that I can use to explain how he's behaving when we're together. So, I don't know if he cancels his plane tickets or not. I don't think that he does. But, because he says, oh, well, they're already purchased or something like that. So, although he's at work, I do not go see him on that Wednesday. And by Thursday, we're fine. Nothing's going on. We talk. We're fine. And Thursday is the day before our 1 year first date anniversary. And I go and do my life like usual. I go to the gym. He had a thing that he needed to do at one of his son's schools. And like something's going on with my water. So I wanted to go to his house and shower. And he was like, oh, my oldest is there. And he was like, I just don't want you to, show up while he's there, but it's okay, And I was like, okay, don't worry about it. I go drop my dog off at the groomer, and he said, okay, no, I picked him up, and we're out to go pick up the younger one. I said, okay, cool. And so I go to the house to shower, and they come home. And when I come downstairs, the kids are looking like, oh, hey. I know that must have been odd for them. But whatever. This is what, he was basically, the way he explained it is he's basically trying to put them in space with me, let them see me around, just to get them used to the fact that I'm around. Now, this is the thing that is baffling me, because, if he knew what he was doing, why are you still involving your kids or pretending like you want to involve your kids at all? Because what I would discover the next day, them kids should have never saw me. Ever. So, that Thursday, I was like, okay, I've been feeling the ick all week. Because I feel like he's pretending something. This is not right. I should have said, I want to break up. I should have said, I want to break up. I don't know why I kept going, but this isn't right. But I didn't break up, and it's not nice to break up on the year anniversary. And since it's not nice to break up on the year anniversary, I don't have a gift. And I'm really about nice gifts and being creative and thoughtful, but I don't have a gift. It's 4:00 and I realize I don't have a gift. Now, on this day, my line sister goes to the hospital. Her baby's trying to come preterm. So all things are happening. Everybody's overwhelmed. But I'm like, I can't show up tomorrow without a gift because that's crazy. So the one thing that we haven't done that I know he wants to do is take a sushi making class. So I go into action. I go and I find a sushi making class that we could take together. I book that. And I'm like, that's cool, but it's not fantastic enough. I find a chef coat, somebody to embroider it overnight. I find a really beautiful Japanese knife and a sushi making kit. So all of a sudden, he has a gorgeous gift.